Benfica got the Champions League already. Literally already, the Benfica got Champions League. For us, it's a little bit different, right? We're not going directly to the Champions League like we usually do, and it's just because the Portuguese league low-key fell off a little bit. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Portugal used to get 2 teams going in directly, and the third team would play a playoff. That's how it used to be for us. But the Portuguese league has really slipped up because of FC Porto's struggles over the last few years, and Sporting not really doing much in Europe because they went through a really dark phase there before Ruben Amorim. It's really only been Benfica making like the round of 16 of the quarterfinals over the last few years. That's why they were the team in the Club World Cup. And then Porto went with them because Porto had success before Benfica was having success. And Porto's always been good in the Champions League, right? But they just went through a little messed up phase there toward these last couple of years, and Portugal lost their 3 teams going into the Champions League. So now we got to go play this playoff, and it's a playoff that's very scary. But as a Benfiquista, you have to be optimistic and you have to believe because yes, I know there's fantastic teams in front of us. The first one, we have to get by Nice or Nice, however you call them. There's a team from France. They're an unbelievable team, had a great season last year. They're a good team. I'm scared of them. I'm not going to lie, but we're Benfica. And we need to believe that way. We need to think that way. We need to understand that we have good players. We have a good team. We just invested a lot of money in Rios. We just invested a lot of money in Enzo. We brought in Didic, who looks amazing. We have a team. We have a team. There's still a lot of holes. I don't like our winger situation. We'll get to that. But if we do get by Nice, then we have to then play either Feyenoord from the Netherlands or Fenerbahce from the Turkish league. If I mess their name up, I apologize. All my Turkish viewers out there, I do apologize. You always mess their name up. Galatasaray, I can say. Fenerbahce and Busquets. It's always 2 that I'll be butchering, and I apologize for that, man. But phenomenal team out of Turkey, right? So Fenerbahce is going to be playing against Feyenoord from the Dutch league, and we're going up against Nice, and then whoever gets by these games play each other, right? So it's going to be a real tough one. But what makes me sad right now, and I'm talking about the Champions League in a minute, what makes me sad right now about Benfica is I low-key have gotten to the point where I kind of want to unfollow every single Benfica person on social media, and that's really like crazy for me to say, because there's so much negativity around this club now where it's not even enjoyable to read. I used to be on social media reading stuff about Benfica and it was fun, right? But now I kind of low-key kind of want to ignore it because everything I see is like, it's like, I don't really know how to explain. And I hope this does touch other Benfiquistas and you guys can kind of give me your opinion on this because I grew up in a time where Benfica didn't win nothing, right? If we won a Taça de Portugal, it was exciting. I remember Benfica's first campeonato, first championship in a very long time, was with Simon, Petit, Thiago, Nuno Gomes was there, Giovanni Trapattoni was the manager. And it had been years. We went to the Bessa where Bobista plays and we won the Campeonato there and it was amazing. I was a young kid and I remember going through a phase there where it was just Porto winning all the time. Porto dominated Portugal. They were such a good team. They had players like Lucho Gonzalez and Quaresma and Falcao and so many players, Derlei, so many players went through there that just dominated Portuguese league and we couldn't do nothing about it. And even during that time, stadium full, fans still chanting, fans supporting because we're a team we're fans that don't turn on our team, don't turn on our player. We've never been the type of team that when teams perform bad, we start screaming and booing and this and that. And I'm kind of not feeling that energy from Benfica no more. I starting to see Benfica starting to turn into like the Philadelphia Eagles or Boston. If you guys are from here in America, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those are states where if you start to play bad, they let you know. They will curse you out. They will throw things at you. It's just the way it is, bro, in Philadelphia. That's how they move. And in Portugal, that's how Porto was. Porto, like they would, if you would lose or play bad, the fans would let you know, bro. They would get on you. Bad. Like bad. You didn't want to play bad at Porto. They got on you. And I think there's levels to it. I think it's important to let the players know they're playing bad, the manager's doing bad. But I also think the amount of flares we're throwing into the stadium, always popping flares. Benfica's getting fined constantly because of the flares. Now we're a team that's like, I remember our last manager got bottles thrown at, players are getting cursed at. This is not how Benfica moves. And now I go on social media and I'm starting to see just straight negativity towards certain players. For example, Coach, you wanted to leave Benfica. And I thought that was great that Benfica moved him because we don't want somebody there that's going to be fighting with managers and doesn't want to be there. I think he's a good talent, but the attitude between Benfica and him weren't good. It's good he moved. But the moment that happened, then the Aktürkoğlu one came up. Now he wants to leave too because he's Turkish, he's French, he don't want to be here no more. Okay? But the moment this story breaks, all the people on Benfica social media just start going, oh, yeah, he should go. Forget him. We don't need him. He could bounce because we have Schjelderup in the background. And if I say Schjelderup name wrong, I'm sorry. It's a Norwegian name. I might mess it up. I apologize. I like the Schjelderup kid. I think he's a great player. I think he's a young player with a lot of talent. But I also do believe that if he was as good as everybody says he is, he would have won a starting job already. He's gone through 2 different managers. Roger didn't start him. Bruno Lage hasn't started him. I know both of those managers are kind of, I'm not the biggest fan. But the first year Roger had at Benfica, he was pretty damn good. We went to a quarterfinals of a Champions League, almost made semifinals against Inter de Milan. We were really good. Man, I say the ref was pretty bad in those ones. In the league, we were amazing. Gonçalo Ramos was phenomenal. We had a really good run with Roger. Schjelderup, I believe, was at Benfica. I think he was there already. Was he there? I'm pretty sure he was there. He might have been there. Didn't play under Roger. Prestini didn't play under Roger. Rollizer didn't play under Roger. We get Bruno Lage. These guys are still not playing, right? So if you're going through different managers and each manager doesn't see the talent there or doesn't see the work ethic, there's something that the fans outside aren't seeing. Because to go through 2 different managers, we had Schjelderup and we still went out and bought Bruma and Aktürkoğlu. Think about that. So if his talent is as much as everyone is saying it is, why did we go buy Aktürkoğlu and Bruma? Now, you might say, well, that's because Ricosta is a bad president. And look, I don't think Ricosta is doing a good job neither. But there's something that both coaches didn't see for us to go out and get Bruma, Aktürkoğlu, like what's going on here, right? So everyone that's saying they want Aktürkoğlu gone now, even though he scored goals for us last year and he gives us goals and stuff, everyone that's saying that, I agree with you, but now you're going to having one winger on your roster. And if people say, oh, but Arsenis is not a winger, I'm sick and tired of seeing Arsenis at the right mid position, bro. Put Arsenis in his real position or stop playing him out of position. It's hurting Benfica, bro. So for all the Benfiquistas that are okay to let Aktürkoğlu go, when he leaves, we now gonna need we need 3 wingers to come in, 2 more wingers. Because if Schjelderup is not what everyone is saying he is, right? Because we've never seen this guy go consistent 10 games in a row. What if he can't do 10 games in a row? Okay, so now we need a winger that can go 10 games in a row. We don't have him. We lost Di Maria. I thought Di Maria shouldn't have been there last year regardless. I think he should have done 1 year and left. We lose Aktürkoğlu. Okay, so now we have Arsenis, who's not a right winger, and Prestini and Schjelderup, who both players have not shown they can be consistent at Benfica. So every Benfiquista that's freaking out and saying how, bro, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Every winger we want, we can't sign. We have no creativity in the middle of the park. So if Aktürkoğlu leaves, now we need 2 wingers plus a creative midfielder. You think Benfica's going to buy Enzo, Rius, Didic, get Dowell in, and then they're going to go buy a 10 and 2 wingers? For me, no. For me, I just don't see Benfica doing it in one window. You can't do all that in one window. So to let Aktürkoğlu go right now, I think it's a disaster for Benfica. I think if anything, throw Aktürkoğlu on the right and push Schjelderup on the left and run with it like that if you can't find a winger. But letting that guy walk right now without having wingers on the roster just doesn't make sense to me. And we got a Champions League game coming up tomorrow, and we're over here making it about Schjelderup. Why is this guy not? Bro, for me, I don't care what the name on the back of the jersey is. And that's why I don't understand about Benfiquistas, bro. They're like, yo, Schjelderup, it's his time, put him in. Bro, who cares what the name is on the back of the jersey? Eu quero ganhar, pa. I want to win. I don't care. Your name could be Billy Bob. Your name could be Junior. Your name could be whatever. I just want to win. That's it. I want to win our games. I don't want to be biting my toenails. I don't want to be biting my fingernails and screaming at my TV every single game. I want to relax and enjoy Benfica playing good football and winning games. And I don't care what your name is, but I'm watching a Benfica. And the Benfiquistas are finally seeing it. And I'm finally seeing it because I hated it. And our best player pretty much is Otamendi. That guy played for Porto, bro. We've accepted Otamendi. He's our captain. Everyone's chanting for him. We see the way he plays. If we're accepting a Porto player like Otamendi who celebrated, and I'm pretty sure he was part of the Porto team that won the championship in our stadium and was jumping around and celebrating. We had to turn the water on, turn the lights off for them to get out of there. They won the Campeonato in our stadium. We've accepted this guy. And we're worried about what players are playing for us. Come on, man. At the end of the day, I don't care if you're Aktürkoğlu. I don't care if you're Schjelderup. I don't care if you're Pavlidis. I don't care if you're Otamendi. I want to win. If Schjelderup gives us the best chance at winning, then let's do it. But to sell Aktürkoğlu just to give a young kid an opportunity, the young kid needs to earn his stripes. He needs to earn it, bro. Di Maria had people in front of him when he stepped in at Benfica as a young man, and he earned it. You earn your time. You gotta earn it. You can't just step in. João Felix, when we put him playing, he earned it, bro. We had players in the plantel that could play. He went in and he took the spot and he ran with it. Renato Sanchez, as a baby, came in. He ran with it. Antonio Silva, he ran with it. So I'm saying Schjelderup needs to step in and run with it. But for us to be moving pieces and doing this and doing that now, bro, the Campeonato starts in a week, bro. We got champions. We need to bring in 2 more players. Players don't need to be going out. I see people being like, you know, guys, you know the amount of hate Antonio Silva got at Benfica? Everyone's saying Antonio Silva has to go. Antonio Silva was our best player against Sporting in the Supertaça. He was probably our best player at the Club World Cup. He lost his confidence when he played for Portugal and did that terrible pass in the competition. He hasn't been the same since, but he's starting to find his form again. People forget this kid is 21 years old. Bro, 21, and you want him out. As a Benfiquista, I don't get to watch a player at Benfica for more than 2 years. They get there, they play good 1 year, they're gone. Though finally we get a player that's Portuguese, that's one of ours, that can stay, and we're forcing them out. This is what I'm saying. I've lost it. I don't know how to feel anymore towards Benfiquistas because we finally get a Portuguese young kid out of our academy. We want to ship him away. The one we can keep, we want to get rid of. But we beg for João Neves and this one and that one to stay. Bro, players go through bad things. Antonio Silva stepped back up. He's doing his thing, right? Let the kid do what he's got to do. And Tomás Araújo, hopefully he can continue to develop and not want to leave, and then he can go to Otamendi's spot, and we can have a back line of ours from our academy of Antonio Silva and Tomás Araújo together. Like, that would be amazing. But if we force Antonio Silva out, it ain't gonna happen. So I'm lost, bro. I'm really lost. I'm not saying Aktürkoğlu is better than anybody on Benfica. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the more players we ship away, the more players we gotta bring in. And we're just not gonna, we just paid 25 million for Rios. We paid 13 million. I know the money doesn't go out to next year for Enzo. We paid money for Didic. We paid money to keep Dal here. Bro, you think Benfica is just gonna keep wasting money? The only reason they waste this much money is because Ricosta's trying to save his presidency, right? And if Ricosta doesn't win Champions League and make Champions League, he's guaranteed not gonna win the presidency. He's guaranteed not going to. But the last thing we want is for Benfica to spend, this president to keep his job, spends all this money, and then we still don't make the Champions League, and he still loses his job. He leaves us in a bad situation. So for us to be begging for more and more and more and more, it's just not gonna work out in a good way for Benfica, in my opinion. What Benfica needs to do right now is get consistency with the players they have, find someone to play the right, because Arsenal should not be playing on the right. Find somebody to play the right, maybe find a creative midfielder if you can find one. Otherwise, go into the year with Aktürkoğlu on the left, Pavlidis at the striker, Schjelderup at the right, maybe João Veloso, I think his name is, the young Portuguese kid, right? Maybe he's in the midfield with Enzo and Rios. I don't really see who's going to be the most creative there, but you go with it. And then in the back, you have Dal, Antonio Silva, Otamendi, and Didic. And we go from there. And we need players to be able to rotate in, you know what I'm saying? I see people wanting Florentino going. I think Florentino off the bench will be fantastic for us. If we can keep him a little bit longer off the bench, listen, until Manu's healthy, and then move Florentino Luis in January when Manu's healthy, I'm down for that. You know what I mean? I think we moved the players we had to move already. I think Coach, who wasn't really working in the locker room, I think he had to go. If there's anybody else not working in the locker room, I think they should go. But I'm not really worried about Benfica moving players. I'm just worried about Benfica bringing in 1 or 2 more so we can have a good plantel that can go a lot of games. They've just come off a Club World Cup. The more players you send away, the less players you have to sub. They just coming off a Club World Cup, a long season. They were in the Champions League. We need as many players as we can get. I need a right winger. I need a creative midfielder, and we need to go from there. But Schjelderup is, if Aktürkoğlu needs to stay and Schjelderup needs to fight for a spot, bro, there needs to be more competitiveness on the team. You know what I'm saying? I think you should have to fight for your spot. Regardless, finally I can get to the Champions League. Sorry, y'all, I started rambling. I think Benfica have a good chance, y'all. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Benfica have a bad chance, because Benfica's problem last year was their midfield. They were kind of like Real Madrid, where the midfield would just get ran through. But with what we've seen from Enzo so far, and we've only seen a couple games from him, he was really good in the Supertaça against Benfica, against Sporting, which we won. We won the Super Cup 1-0. Pavlidis, the Greek man, scored a beautiful goal. Well, a goal that the Spartan goalie messed up on, I'm not going to lie. But we have a midfield that looks like they fight for the ball, looks like they want to compete. That's important. That's what we were lacking last year. We have a right back, which looks like he can play, right? Because we had a right back, but Ba always gets injured. So now we have a right back, and hopefully Ba can get healthy soon and they can rotate. Dowd seems to be a good left back. I don't know about the kid that came from Real Madrid. So we've sorted the main problems, which was the midfield out. We sorted that out. We did that. And we weren't a bad team yet last year. Like, we barely lost the championship. And we did okay in the Champions League, right? So we're not a bad team. We did okay in the Club World Cup. We lost to the team that won it. We're not a bad team. We're nowhere near a bad team. We're a strong team. The problem is, I just don't think Arsenal's playing on the right is the answer for Benfica to be creative against teams like Nice, right? Against Nice, right? You go up against a team that knows how to defend, a team that knows how to play ball. You can't be having a guy that's an actual midfielder playing at the right wing. Who you beating on the 1v1? You're not beating nobody on the 1v1, right? So that scares me. I don't like that, but I think we have a good midfield now. I think our midfield's really, really improved from last year. I don't think our defense is bad. Our goalkeeper's okay. He doesn't react fast, but he's okay. The front's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think that if the midfield can play correctly, I think keep feeding Pavlidis and eventually he'll get us one, right? So I do think Benfica have a chance against Nice. I'm not going to say that we're going to walk over them, beat them easy, but I do think we have a chance. I don't think that Benfica should be terrified of Nice or terrified of Feyenoord or Fenerbahce, because the same amount of chance all those teams have, we have. I know we got a bad draw. I know we got a bad run, but I do think that we're a strong team. I think they're strong teams, and I think the team that deserves to be in the Champions League is going to be in the Champions League. I just hope that the fans can start to really support this team more. If Ricosta's the guy that needs to go, then he goes in October. I'm with it. I've been saying it. I haven't been liking the job he's doing. But what I'm not going to do is turn my back on Benfica players. While you wear the Benfica shirt, I'm here for you, bro. So while Aktürkoğlu is here, I'm not going to want Aktürkoğlu out so Schjelderup gets a chance. I want Schjelderup to take that chance away from Aktürkoğlu and bench Aktürkoğlu and show that he deserves that spot at Benfica. And when he shows us that, then I tell you, sell Aktürkoğlu. And I'm not the biggest fan of Aktürkoğlu. I just don't think the guy deserves to be treated as if because Coach did something and they got in a fight, this guy needs to go. Nah, bro, he's a magical Turkish player. He's unbelievable. That's why they call him Harry Potter. I think he's a great player. I've always liked him more than Coach. I'm going to be honest with you. But do I like Schjelderup more? Of course I do. I like Prestini more too. But the truth is, this guy has put up goals and numbers. I think Schjelderup could do it too, but I don't know. So I would rather Schjelderup have to fight for a spot and win the spot and show us he deserves it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Champions League coming up, man. I'm not looking forward. I'm looking for football being back. I'm not looking forward to this being the first couple games of the year, I'll be honest with you. But hopefully Benfica can get the job done, bro. The transfer window's not closed yet. We're talking about maybe Dybala, maybe this, maybe that. Personally, I don't want Isco or Dybala. I would rather Benfica go out and get a younger, up-and-coming player. There's a good young Greek Cam out there. That's some career mode stuff, but I wish they would go get somebody like that we could develop and get it going. But hey, man, I'm excited, man. I hope Benfica can have a good season, and I hope we're in the Champions League. If not, I think we go to the Europa League, but I really do hope that we're in the Champions League. If not, then it's probably what's best for Benfica to be able to fix the problems that they've been having over the last few years. I'm your boy Scales. Love you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Booyah, baby. We out of here.